Hi, welcome to the Zero Channel. Another great book review. What a great book this one is. Finally, an honest municipal officer. It's called I Never Did Like Politics. How Fiorello LaGuardia became America's mayor and why he still matters today. And it's by Terry Golway. What an excellent book. This guy, even though he was Republican, he didn't cotton to anybody. He listened to no one, his own righteous self. He was called a genuine populist. Oh, it's finally, it's just, here's a model to go by. This is from St. Martin's Press from New York. Some of the people that are talking about it on the rear here is Peter King, a former U.S. representative from New York, said LaGuardia was the quintessential New Yorker, brash, street smart, and pugnacious. He was also a mayor of ultimate integrity, who set the gold standard for public service. Terry Golway captures the essence of the man, his times, his love for New York and its people. Oh, okay, Dr. Gene Zaino, professor of political science, Iona University, and Bloomberg TV politics contributor. She says, in Terry Golway's portrait of a man most modern readers know primarily as the namesake of an airport, we see the rise of a genuine populist, someone who saw public service not as a means to an end, but as an Elysian calling, and one who dedicated his boundless energy into serving the disadvantaged. I was amazed at some of this great thing. Fiorello LaGuardia was one of the 20th century's most colorful politicians on the New York and national stages. He was also quintessentially American. The son of Italian immigrants, he rose in society through sheer will and chutzpah. Almost 100 years later, America is still grappling with issues that would have been familiar with the little flower, as he was affectionately known. It's time to bring back LaGuardia. It's time to bring back LaGuardia, argues historian and journalist Terry Golway, to remind us of an effective municipal officer, as he preferred to call himself, can achieve. Golway examines LaGuardia's extraordinary career through four essential roles: as a patriot, as a dissenter, a leader, and a statesman. He needed the qualities of each when he stood up against the nativism, religious and racial bigotry, and reactionary economic policies of the 1920s. And again, when he faced the realities of Depression-era New York and the rise of fascism at home and abroad in the 1930s. Just before World War II, Roosevelt administration formally apologized to the Nazis when LaGuardia referred to Hitler as a brown-shirted fanatic. There was nobody quite like Fiorello LaGuardia. In this immensely readable book, as entertaining as the man himself, Golway captures the enduring appeal of one of America's greatest leaders. Well, he certainly was, and he was elected as a representative before World War I, and then he enlisted in World War I while he was a sitting representative, and then when he went to Italy, well, he learned other languages too. He learned Croatian and all, and some of his men got sick, and so he really appealed and went above his commanding officer and got good food for his men. When he was little, he was a son of an army brat, or he's an army brat, son of an army guy who went around the country in early 1900s and 1890s, right in there. He was living in Prescott, Arizona, and his father joined the battalion that later became the Rough Riders. So they all, in 98, went down to Florida to go across to Cuba to have the Spanish-American War. His dad died of deathly sick of poisoned meat because of shoddy contractors, putting out whatever they could. And so his dad never made it over there, but he Fiorello became a journalist, and so he got credentials to go down there, and he stayed with his dad, and they both came back from Florida. I guess they went back to New York, because he always lived in New York after that, but he did take care of other problems, and he was a president of the Board of Aldermen. And during World War II, this is what really got me, he wanted to do something else besides just be mayor, you know. And so Roosevelt, he got along with everybody. He was a Republican, but he really joined the bandwagon with Roosevelt. And Roosevelt said, well, I'll give you a job being in the Civil Defense Administration. And so he said, okay. And so to this day, I have been in the Civil Air Patrol when I was young. He's the guy that helped start the Civil Air Patrol during the defenses of this. And then there was money before World War II, during the 30s when he became a mayor in 30-something, that money started coming in for the New Deal, and so you had WPA and Conservation Corps and all that. And so they tore down all of New York, the old tenements and everything, and the New York that you see today, and all of that was been made because of LaGuardia. And he really pushed for an airport. You know, he was coming back from a conference of mayors from Chicago, and they stopped in Newark, and he wouldn't get off the plane. He said, no, my ticket says I have to go to New York, and by golly, I want to go there. So they ran him over there, the only guy on the plane, and put him over at Floyd Field. But he said, we need to build an airport. So he got the actual money for building a new airport, but it wasn't at Floyd Field, but it was at LaGuardia where it is today. And then even later, during World War II, he found money for Idlewild, which later became JFK. So he hated Tammany Hall. He said, I don't like being a politician. I prefer to be called a municipal officer. He didn't take grafts and bribes. He'd do a radio, and when one endearing thing that people really have always loved him for is that when the newspaper had a strike and couldn't distribute the Sunday paper, he got a hold of a copy and read the comics section to the little children. And so, well, everybody loved it. He found money, you know, he really got people to appropriate, and he told them, I just have to have the power to just kibosh a lot of corruption, and boy, that he finally got it. And I'll tell you what, he's done such a wonderful job. He is. I'd love to go to New York just to bask in the memory of this wonderful man. He was only 5'2", and everybody called him a Napoleon. But I'll tell you what, he was a just man, and he was righteous. And I think that's what we need today. And being a genuine populist, everybody voted for him. He stood up for the Jewish people, he stood up for black folks, and he really tried to change things the best that he could. And he bucked the system a lot. But, well, from the way we have it today, you can thank Fiorello. It means little flower in Italian. Get the book like we did at the Tucson Public Library and continue to keep reading about other great Americans. I just had to make a book review about this guy. Thanks for watching KRZ TV. I'm the Lone Journalist. Goodbye.